Hello and welcome to this knitting podcast. My name is Emma and I will be talking to you about my knitting projects. This is the first episode, so welcome. I think I'm going to start with a small introduction. So I started knitting a few years ago and I didn't have anybody to teach me, so I just found some patterns on the internet and I started knitting a hat, a scarf, some mittens and a jumper that was way too large and not long enough, so I couldn't even wear it because I didn't choose the right yarn. So after this experience I stopped knitting for a while and I took back my needles maybe 3 or 4 years ago, and that's the moment when I also found podcasts, and I've watched a lot of podcasts, and I also found Ravelry at that moment and new designers, and I found some patterns that were more modern and that were more my cup of tea, and since then I didn't stop again. And that's why I wanted to film my own podcast so I could share with you what I've been knitting. So let's start with the finished objects. So the first one, it's not a set, but I've knit them at the same time. So it's a jumper and a hat for my baby. And the two of them are patterns from Agasalos e Bugalos. I think it's the right pronunciation. It's Sandra. I think she's a Portuguese designer. So there's this jumper here and this hat. So this is the Brownie family hat, and this is the Cars kid sweater. So I'm going to start with this one. It's the first one that I knit. This was a test knit for Sandra. And I knit them with drops from, it was Nepal from Drops. So it's a DK white yarn. It's 100% wool. It's not superwash, so it's quite soft, and it was perfect for a baby to wear. It was quite warm, and so I've knit the size 0 to 3 months. And it was a bit big, but a bit large, it was okay. And the sleeves were a little bit long for a newborn. But I just rolled them up and it was perfect. And so he could wear it until he was 3 months old. And it was perfect, really. The neck was stretchy enough. It was big enough with the collar like this, with a V-neck. So it wasn't bothering him, and it was okay to put it on. And this pattern has also another collar option. It's like a shawl collar, so it's double folded and on the side, and yeah, I was a bit afraid that it would be a bit too much for a newborn, so I need the simpler version. And I think actually it could have lasted longer. He only wore it until he was 3 months old because my partner put it in the washing machine. So since it was not superwash yarn, it felted. So now it's not stretchy anymore. It's still a little bit, but it was a lot more elastic before, and especially the collar, it's really not stretchy anymore, so it got too small after this episode. Actually, my plan was to frog it until when it would have been too small, and to reknit it one side bigger, but with felted wool it's impossible. So, well, it's okay. He actually wore it for 3 months, so it's not like it was at the beginning when he just started to wear it. So yeah, I was a bit sad, but then it's a baby knit, so it was really quick to knit. So it was okay. I know I can knit it again, even a size bigger, and it's okay. And just after that, since it was a winter baby, I also knit him this hat. So also from Sandra from Agasalos e Bugalos, and this is the brownie family hat, which comes in a lot of different sizes, because this was also 0 to 3 months, and there's a kid size, well, different kid size, and also an adult size. So it has a lot of possibilities. It has a folded brim, which was actually quite great, because at the beginning, when my baby was really small, I would completely fold it, and then as he was growing, I would put it a bit more like this, so it would be smaller. Well, the brim would be smaller and the hat bigger. And since it's really stretchy, it was perfect for his head. So, yeah, it's an easy pattern. I also used the Nepal from Drops. And it's just in the round, easy to follow, really, really quick to knit. And yeah, it was a perfect pattern. So it was a good set. What else did I wanted to say about those patterns? Yeah, maybe a bit about this this jumper. So it's a raglan sweater, and it's knit in the round. And then we pick up the stitches, and we knit the collar. The pattern is really well written, because we have pictures in it, and the pictures are really good, because it really helped me to understand how to make the collar and how to actually sew it here, because it's not tricky, it's easy to do, but since it was the first time for me, it was a lot easier with the pictures in the pattern. Other than that, it's actually quite an easy pattern, and there's nothing really difficult with it. So yeah, if you want to start knitting a garment, especially with this size, it's a great one to start with. So yeah, I think that's it for this set. So the next project is from the same designer, so still from Agasalos e Bugalos, and it's those pants, and it's where should I start? So we knit it top down, we start with the elastic band, well, not elastic, but with the brim, and we make a 2x2 rib, then we fold it, and then I think, yeah, we don't sew it, so we knit it with we knit one round with the stitches from the cast on and with the stitches that we have on the needle, so it stays quite elastic. So it's a really good way to keep it really elastic without sewing it, because if we sew it, it's I think it's a lot less stretchy, and for a baby it's a lot better to have it still stretchy, especially on the belly. And then we knit it on the round. It has this cable on the side, which is really easy to follow, and I knit it without cable needles, which is a lot easier, I think, because I don't need to carry one, and I think it's yeah, it's easier without one. And I actually didn't need the pattern to follow it until we understand and we know where we're at. So it's easy, and it follows the whole leg here until the bottom of the leg. And so we leave 2 holes here, so we can actually put a I-cord in here. So I don't know if you can see it here. There are 2 holes here. And at the back, we knit with short rows, so it's a bit bigger for the back. And there's also some more room for the diaper. And then we separate the legs and we knit them still on the round, and then we make the crotch. I actually didn't completely finish it because I didn't sew it here. I don't know if you can see it. It's still open here, just here, because I knit it in the size 3 to 6 months. And I wanted to use it as a wool cover diaper for my baby, but it could fit him, but only on the back it was a bit small, and it didn't come all the way up to the middle of his back, so it was a bit short. And so I didn't really know what to do with it, because I think I'm going to frog it and reknit it. I think now one size bigger, so I think it's 6 to 9 months. And also I think I'm going to make the more short rows at the back, so it's going to be a bit bigger and a bit higher, and I think it will be better also. And also, I don't know if you can see, but with the short rows there we actually see where I turned. I think we can see it like here and here. We see the little bumps. And I recently watched a podcast from Yarn Fakes, and she explains that when we make short rows on purl stitches, on stockinette stitch with purl stitches on the right side, there's a little trick, so we don't see it, because otherwise I don't think it's really nice like this. So I think I'm going to try that. About the yarn, I used the Flora yarn from drops, and since it's a fingering weight yarn, I hold it double because this is a pattern that uses decay weight yarn. I think most of Sandra's patterns are knit with decay weight yarn. And yeah, so I'm going to frog it and reknit it because I think it's a really great pattern. I really love the cable on the side that gives it a little twist. That's really nice, and I really wanted my baby to wear it. The only thing is now it's going to be summer and I'm not sure he's gonna wear it a lot, so maybe I'm going to wait until the end of summer and I'm going to knit it during autumn, and I'll knit it with the size that's appropriate at that time, only with more short rows at the back, following what Audrey from what's her name? I just said it. Well, anyway, following what she said in her podcast about short rows with purl stitches. So I'm going to try that, hoping that we won't see the short rows. So yeah, another great pattern, really well written too. I really loved knitting it, and it's so good because with baby knits it's so quick. So yeah, I think that's it for this one. And what's next? Yes, this one. So this one. This is a cardigan from Sorin England that I started a year ago, and I actually started it when I was pregnant, and it was the first trimester and I was completely tired and I couldn't knit it. So I left it aside for a few months, and I wanted to be able to wear it at the end of my pregnancy during winter. So it was open, it was really warm and cozy, but I didn't finish it on time. So I picked it up I think 2 months ago, so when the temperatures started to go up again, but I've been wearing it a lot still. So I had a cardigan, a store-bought cardigan that I had been wearing a lot, that I loved. I really loved it. But I think it was made from acrylic and from cotton. It was a blend of this, and so it wasn't warm enough, and I didn't want to wear acrylic anymore. So I've been looking for a pattern that I could so I could replace it with a knit one, and then that's when I found this from Sorry. And so this is a half brioche knit. It's made using a fingering white yarn and silk mohair. So I wanted something black, but not completely black. So I used a black yarn for the fingering one, and then I used a dark gray one for the silk mohair. So that's why it's not, I don't know if you can see it quite well here. So you see it's not completely black, but it's not gray either. So it knits top down. And it has dropped shoulders. And yeah, I think that's mainly it with the construction. It's really long to knit because it's with a half brush knit, and it was the first time for me, but no problem. It was really easy, even though it was the first time. And well, it's a design from Sari Nolan, and her patterns are really well written. For me, they're really easy to follow. There are every instructions that we need that are written. We don't need to guess what she wants to say and what she wants us to do. So really easy to follow, and there are links in the pattern, so we know if we need more information on how to make a technique, we have a link. So it's really easy to do. And we saw the shoulders with, I think that was it. I started it so long ago that I can't remember, but I think we saw the shoulders with 3 needles. It was a first for me, and it was okay. It's actually not hard. And the only thing that was quite hard for me with this pattern was the collar. So we have to pick up all the stitches around the cardigan, and then we only knit this part with the fingering weight yarn, but held double. And I don't know, in the pattern she said like approximately like how she did it. I think it was 2 stitches out of 3 that she picked up here. I can't remember exactly. And it was quite hard for me to see on the half brioche where, well, I think I understood where were the stitches, but I didn't pick up enough stitches. So I ended up with a collar that was smaller than the length of the cardigan. And so it would go up and, you know, a bit like it would be here, and this would go a bit, I don't know if you can see it well, go a bit up like this. And I really didn't like it. I spent so many hours knitting this that I wanted the finishing garment to be perfect, like I imagined it. So I almost finished the button band, and I frogged it and I started again. And I think I put more stitches, I picked up more stitches than what she says in the pattern, but well, it worked for me like this. And I made a small change. It's not big, but in the pattern she only knits with she only knit 3 button holes, and with big buttons. And so I made them one stitch smaller, I think. So a bit smaller, but I made 4 of them. So we don't see them quite well for the moment because it's really dark. And so there's one here, 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 and here. So I made the top one at the same height that what she says in the in the pattern. So I can close it at the same level, but I only made 4 of them. So because seeing the other versions of other people, I thought that they were a bit too separated, and so it would make like a small hole in between the buttons, so I wanted them a bit closer to each other. So that's what I made, and I didn't put the buttons yet because, well, I didn't find the right buttons yet. So I found those ones. I wanted wooden buttons, so I found those ones here. I don't know if it makes the focus. Yes, maybe. I'm not sure it makes the focus correctly. Anyway, so I have wooden buttons, but I want them a bit darker. So I don't know what you think. I think it's a bit too light, this color here. I have my hand in front of it. It's the same color as my hand, actually. Yeah, and I think it's a bit, oops, I've lost one. I think it's a bit too light for this cardigan, for the black cardigan. So, I don't know, what do you think? Should I put those ones? Or a bit darker buttons? Anyway, I still want wooden buttons, and I'll see. Maybe I'll try with those ones. And yeah. So I can try it on. It's really warm, so yeah. Yeah. So the first one, where is it? It closes here. Here, you can see it's a bit here. So it's a cropped cardigan. It comes right on my hips. I think a bit lower. So yeah, I really like it. It's really like I imagined it. So I'm taking it off because I'm really warm. So yeah, I have more hair in my mouth. So yeah, I'm really happy with it, and I've been wearing it quite a lot, even though it's getting warmer and warmer. I've been wearing it in the mornings when it's still a bit chilly outside, and to get my coffee outside in the morning, so it's just perfect for that. My last finished object is a pair of socks. So it's a pattern from Yarn Flakes, from Audrey from Yarn Flakes, and it's the maple flower socks. And yeah, I just finished the second one, so I'm going to show you the one that's blocked, because this one is not yet. So it's a top-down pattern socks. We knit it top-down. So we start here, then we knit a long cuff, and so we can fold it double. And then we have this cable at the center that we knit all the way until the end of the toe. So she tells us to knit it until the end, and because in most of the patterns we stop at the toes and then we knit with stockinette stitch. Not in this one, so I quite like that. And what else? It's a heel flap and gusset. Well, she leaves the choice in her pattern. We can make with a chantre heel or this one. So I like this one. I think it sits well on the foot, so it's quite comfy to wear. And what else? I don't know if you can see it properly. Yeah. I'm hiding behind my sock, so maybe the camera will do the focus. So yeah, those are, the cable isn't following exactly I don't know how to explain, but you can see it. You see, we make 2 cables here and then stuck in it, and then again the cable here. So yeah, we just have to know where we're at on the rounds, and it's easy to follow. Yeah, I think that's it for this pattern. And I used the yarn that I used was the sock yarn from Drops with the Fable from Drops. I have a huge stash of it, so I have to finish it before I try some new sock yarn. I really want to try more natural sock yarn, but I thought I have to finish my stash and then I can try some new yarn. So yeah, this was from my stash, and this pattern is from she's making a series from with this pattern. So this is the second of it, and it's the same stitches, it's the same cable as her maple flower sweater, and I think she wanted to make like a set of socks with I think there are 4 of them, from the easiest one to the bit more difficult, and so this is the second one of it, and it's all cable socks. I think she made the same thing last year, but yeah, only with 3 different patterns, and it was lace with lace, and so this year it's with cables, and I absolutely love them. So I think it's interesting because here I didn't block the second one, so you can actually really see the difference from this sock to this one. So this one is not blocked, and this one is, and so you can really see the difference between them. So yeah, I haven't worn them yet, but yeah, I'm going to block this one and then they're ready to go. And I think she designed those ones to be more comfy, so that's why she made the folded brim, and also it's knit with a needle a bit bigger, also because the cables make the sock a bit tighter. So usually I knit my socks with a 2mm needle, and for those ones I knit them with 2.25mm. So yeah, I think that's it for those socks. And I think that's also it for the finished objects. So let's start with the works in progress. I'm going to start with this one. So those are the Midnight Dancer socks from Sorry Nordland. So I made the first sock, and here it is. And the only difficulty, well, it's not a difficulty, but the design that makes it a bit special is the top of the sock here. The rest of the sock is actually like some plain socks with stockinette stitch. And yeah, I just thought it was so cute. So yeah, I started them a few months ago, and it's my easy project. So I need them when I'm on the go, when I have 5 minutes to wait, and yeah, sometimes here and there. And so it's an easy project. I don't have to think about it. I just I know what to do. I don't need the pattern, especially since I made the first one, and it's just the same for the second one. So yeah, it's my easy project when I don't want to think, when I don't want to, I don't need to be concentrated, and yeah, easy to take out, just knit for a few minutes and then put it back in my bag. And so I started the second one, and I did the first part. I knit the leg, I knit the heel, and yeah, I'm actually at the point where I do the decreases here on the foot, and yeah, I just have to continue like this in the round, and easy. And actually you can see the needles I'm using. It's the Haya Sharp, 23 centimeters, and it's perfect. I love knitting socks with those needles. I had to get used to it at the beginning because it's really small, but I think it's so much easier than. I hate doing magic loop. And also I tried with double pointed needles, but I don't know, there are too many of them and it's not so easy for me. So I knit the whole sock with those needles, and then I do the toes with either magic loop or double pointed needles. But it's just such a small portion of it, so it's okay. But yeah, I started loving knitting socks from the moment I tried those needles. So yeah, so those ones are I think, yeah, 2 millimeters. Yeah. So yeah, and about the yarn, I can't remember exactly. It's not sock yarns. It's not sock yarn. I think it's made with alpaca. I can actually see it's a bit fluffy, and I hand dyed it. The camera stopped. So I was saying that I hand dyed this yarn. So I used madder and turmeric to do the speckles, and yeah, I really love the results. It's perfect. The only thing is, I think it wasn't. I didn't put as many speckles, or as much speckles, on this part of the yarn as on this one. So this one we see a lot more gray than on this part, and I think the turmeric got everywhere here on this part of the yarn. So I don't know, it's we see a lot more yellow between the two of them. I don't know if you can see the difference. Yeah, but I don't mind. I mean, those are socks. So if I have to do it again with the yarn that I will be using for a jumper, of course I will be more precise on the dyeing part. But for socks, it was perfect, and it was actually to try to know if I liked it, and just to to try it. And so I think for first experience it was it was really nice, and I really love the results. So I think it's so great to be able to wear my socks that I hand knit and I hand dyed the yarn. So yeah, I'm really excited to be able to wear the socks. And yeah, what else about this pattern? I think that's it. This is really my easy knit. So when I will be done knitting those socks, I will continue with a hat. It's this hat here. And it's a design from Sorin Island again, and it's a top-down hat with the brim folded 3 times, I think. So we start at the top, and what's the, I don't know, the cast on. It's a cast on where we close it by, see, you can still see the hole because I didn't finish. I didn't close it yet, so I think you can still see the hole. And yeah, you just, but the yarn breaks easily, this yarn, so I didn't close it yet. And so it's a top-down hat, and I don't know, I followed the pattern exactly, but it's too big. I went further down and I realized I tried it on and it was way too big. It's not for me, it's for my partner, but even for him, it's also too big. So I frogged it, and I thought, well, it's too hot now to wear a hat, so it's okay. I won't be knitting it. I don't need to finish it right now. It will be for next winter. So I still have a few months to finish it. So I will be frogging it until, well, till here. Yeah, almost to the top. And I will not make the last increases. I don't know how many. I have to measure it to know exactly. So yeah, I'm using a tweed yarn. So I really love the way it turns out, and it's really soft and squishy. So yeah, that will be my next project after the socks, after the Midnight Dancer socks. It will be my next easy project that I can just pick up, knit a round or two, and then put it aside when I don't want to think or to concentrate. And then I started, it's the third time I started this project. This is, I lost the yarn. So it's the rower pullover from, it's a drops pattern. I think I started it at least 2 years ago, at least. It's a jumper for my partner, and he chose the yarn, he chose the pattern. He had a lot of choices for the pattern, but he really wanted this one, so I started it. And the first time I started it, it was way too big. I don't know what I did with it. And the second time I started it, I stopped after the ribbing, and when I picked it up, I didn't know if my gauge was still the same, so I frogged it, redid a swatch, and then started it again. So yeah, I'm really at the beginning. It's the start of it. I'm using, what is the, I think it's Lima from Drops. the yarn, and the pattern is so badly written. It's not easy to follow. There are 2 pages for the charts, and a 3rd page for the instructions that we have to follow at the same time as the charts. Not easy. I had to really think how to, well, make the decreases. Yeah, after the ribbing, we have to decrease, and they just say decrease that many stitches evenly. And so I had to calculate to know where I wanted to make them, and then they say following the pattern of the ribbing, but it isn't right. So yeah, it's not good. And then also I think there's a mistake on one of the charts, because we're supposed to knit it. So it's there are cables. There are cables on both sides, and then we knit with, what's the name of this stitch? I don't know. Where we knit what size? I don't know if you can see it properly, but here we knit here maybe on the light. We knit 2 knits, 2 purls, 2 knits, 2 purls. We do the same on the 2nd row, and then we change it on the 3rd and 4th row. And so yeah, that's the main panel at the center, and then there are 3 charts for cables on both sides, and it's the same at the back. And so it's symmetrical. So I don't know if you can see it properly, but those 2 here are the same here, here and here, and then those 2 are the same. And see, here and here, the cables go to the center, so they're completely symmetrical. And then on the other side here, well, this one is not the right one because that's where I made the change, but it goes, yeah, here, sorry. So it goes to the center and then to the center, and here it goes to the exterior. So it's not, I don't know, I don't think it's quite well explained, but it's not symmetrical. So I don't know, I don't really think it looks good, so I changed it. But yeah, I mean, I'm going to finish it. I think the garment will look good, and I actually like the pattern. I didn't want to knit a pattern from drops, but then my partner chose it, and he chose it a long time ago, and he still likes it. He still really likes the yarn, so I'm going to finish it. And yeah, so I started this just a few days ago, and yeah, it's actually not, it's a men's garment, so it's bigger than for me, so it will take longer, but then it's a decay weight yarn, so it's going a lot faster than when I knit a jumper for me with fingering weight yarn. I mean, I was actually surprised at how fast I just knitted this part. So yeah, I'm going to try it on him just to make sure it's the right size before I continue. And the good thing about it is the cables are really easy to understand and to follow, so I don't need the pattern anymore. I don't need the charts. I can just look at the knit, and I know what to do next, so it's okay. It will be something not when it will be an easy knit too, just a bit bigger. So yeah, just the beginning, but I think he's going to loving it. I do have the whole summer and spring and summer to knit it, so I do have a lot of time to knit it, so he can wear it for next winter. So yeah, that's it for today's projects. I hope you enjoyed it, and see you next time. Bye!